There's a brilliant scene in Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer in which a professor is guiding a young Robert Oppenheimer in his early physics career, and he asks him, he says, you know the physics, you know the math, but can you hear the music? And what follows is a brilliant metaphysical scene in which Oppenheimer is dreaming of the very components of matter and atoms. It's the perfect question for the creative, the artist, the writer, the filmmaker. Can you hear the music? And I am here to tell you that Ryan Coogler, director and writer of Sinners, hears the music and synthesizes it brilliantly in, frankly, maybe the best film of the year. This is a deadly, clever, and incredibly beautiful piece of horror, Americana, period piece filmmaking, and we are going to talk about it. That's right, I am Captain Garrett of the Swords and Starships channel, where our continuing mission is to inspire beautiful worlds, bold characters, and truth in art. And let me tell you something, truth in art is exactly what you get with Sinners. Let's go. I love a good period piece, and this is a brilliant period piece. Set in 1930s Mississippi among black sharecroppers in the poorest part of the South. Starring Michael B. Jordan as two characters, twin brothers, Smoke and Stack. How freaking cool is that? That is, I am jealous of how amazing that character name is. Smoke and Stack are two brothers who have fought through World War I. They've been part of Al Capone's gang in Chicago, and they have returned to the Jim Crow South to try and make their fortune. So you have Sammy, who is a young man that is very good with the guitar. He's basically a prodigy, a young virtuoso who shows real talent with blues music, and he is the son of a preacher who is torn between two worlds, the world of being a devout Christian walking the righteous path, or the pull of the individual wandering artist life, where he would frequent all the dens of sin that goes along with that. The action of the film takes place over a single day, a single night, and the centerpiece of this is Smoke and Stack, these two brothers who are returning, who tell Sammy, who asks him, I thought things were better in the North, and they say, yeah, it's the same shit, just with a different face. Might as well come home. If we're going to face this bigotry wherever we go, we might as well come home and face the devil we know. And so they buy this sawmill from a guy named Hogwood, who they suspect is part of the Klan, but he denies it, of course. And they are going to set up a juke joint where they can be accepted, where they can hear their own music and not have to be afraid of being attacked or run out of town. They're going to make money. They're going to make their fortune in their hometown. At the core of this entire film is blues music, excellent singers playing these parts who play beautiful pieces of music throughout the film, and the film's score runs through the whole film, tying it all together. It's magnificent. The visuals, Deep South Mississippi are beautiful. They're just gorgeous. One of the things that is most present throughout this film, though, is a sense of joy. And here's the thing you have to have in a good piece of horror cinema. You have to have a fear and a risk of loss. And in order to have a fear of loss, you must have characters that you care about and that you're rooting for. Stack has a really great save the cat moment. He pulls up, he parks his truck, which is filled with a lot of their supplies they're going to need, and he pays a local girl to just watch the car. Yeah, he says, I'll give you a nickel to watch the car. And she says, okay. And he says, wrong. You're supposed to negotiate. And he begins this little dialogue where he convinces her to negotiate for a higher price. And he's teaching her how to get what she's worth in the world. And it's this wonderful, charming little scene. And it immediately makes you think two things. Stack is cool, and it makes you like him. And you have these kind of beautiful relationships that are established in the story. Smoke reunites with his ex-wife that he's still in love with. And Smoke and Stack are very close as twin brothers. They have a very close bond. By the way, they are dressed to the nines, Boardwalk Empire style, in just, people knew how to dress in the 30s. These awesome suits, fedora hats, they look fantastic. and they're armed to the teeth with handguns, rifles, Tommy guns. It's fantastic. They're just badasses, but you like them. And so when the scene comes together of them dancing in the sawmill, playing blues music, which is fantastic, and these set pieces are great in and of themselves, it makes you immediately love these characters, love what they're trying to build, and that creates an immediate fear of loss. When malevolent forces are attracted to what's happening in the sawmill, it makes you that much more afraid and raises the tension of what's going to happen. So, mild spoiler warning, vampires generally suck in movies. I'm not a fan. Now, there are some exceptions. I like Interview with the Vampire, but most of the time they're kind of hissing, over-the-top, overacted clowns that are like flying around. And it's not scary. And frankly, it's cringe. But in this case, the vampires that show up at the door of the sawmill are sort of quietly charming. They are disarming, and there's no screeching or hissing. They are just a malevolent force that raises the hairs on the back of your neck. It's excellent. And there's a kind of duel of music, too. There's a duel of musical styles, sort of Irish folk music versus Deep South blues, and it's brilliant. It not only is the music beautiful, but it contributes to the tension. And it's pretty fantastic. It's a crazy ride. And it does not end how you think it's going to end. But the true strength of this film is revealed in its remarkable character-driven story about the yearn for freedom, the love of music, the tragedy of love lost. This is a character drama that uses monsters at the door, monsters at the gate, as the kind of animating energy of the film. The main character of Sammy, who has the gift of music that attracts the malevolent entities to him because they want to possess his power. His sin is not exactly that he's indulging in drinking and debauchery, although he is. He's using the innocence of his gift in service of these things. And that is what unleashes the monster in the world. And it's pretty brilliant. It reminds me a lot of the element of Danny in The Shining. He has this gift that the evil of the hotel wants to steal and use for itself. This is horror done really well. This is special effects done really well to serve the story. For example, the glowing eyes effects are really excellent. They're somewhere just between like the way a dog's eyes look in the night, but with a little extra supernatural thrown in. They shimmer at just the right moment, at just the right angle. It's a story about these characters in this time. It's why I say there's not a trace of the message in this. This is just a story about people who are trying to build a life for themselves. This is a story about masculine, tough men who have survived war, who have survived criminal cartels in Chicago, who have survived racism, who have survived poverty, who have survived an abusive father, and are trying to build something for themselves. This is about actual women who have also survived hardships, the loss of children, poverty, living the hard life of sharecroppers in the 30s. Like, these are real people dealing with the real struggles of that time, and it really works. I loved it. I was totally immersed in it. This could have just been a wall-to-wall drama, and I still would have watched it. But as it is a horror film, it's also a really excellent horror film. Now, there are some downsides. I do feel that the rules governing the monsters in the film are a bit strange for what actually happens. I feel like there's a world-breaking element. The way the monsters propagate in the world, I think, is somewhat world-breaking, and it did lead to a couple of moments of the film where I felt like the pace was dragging. But what saves this film is really these brothers and their bond, these cousins and extended family, and how they pulled together. Even though they face terrible bigotry and oppression, they never look at themselves or think of themselves as victims. They simply find a way to live, to find joy, to celebrate each other, to find music in the world. And that is really what lands this film in a beautiful way. It's about these brothers and their love for each other, and Sammy and his love for music. So make sure you stay after the credits. It is an incredibly moving and brilliant final scene. And I will say that whether or not it's possible for these characters, I will just say I would love to see Smoke and Stack in a franchise of these films. I think they're too good. They are the kind of characters that I want to see again. And Michael B. Jordan is an absolute rock star. I completely forgot that he was even playing two characters in this. He's so good. This might be his best performance ever, among many incredible performances dating all the way back to The Wire. So out of 10 bars on the epaulette, Sinners is a 9 out of 10. Remarkable cinematography, a dynamite score, incredible landscapes, incredible period piece, incredible settings, and a very wicked and devilish monster to fight in the dark. So go see Sinners. You will love it. It's absolutely worth your time. It's probably one of the best times you're going to have in the movies. That is Sinners, one hell of a good shindig. And until next time, this is Captain Garrett saying I will see you out there.